AJ, if you don't like this thumbnail, I officially quit as the thumbnail creator.
It's pretty cool, man. Hey, breaking news, guys. You know, whenever we miss something, we've always got our trusty news hound, Hibsy, that is all over everything all the time. And yeah, we have a huge, important announcement regarding Moss Book 2. You guys ready? Well, tune in Monday to hear
so
what
ridiculous.
Oh my God, we're doing cliffhangers again.
It's the beginning of the show. Do you know how many people just checked out and were like, well, I'm gonna go watch the news on Moss Book 2 because these guys aren't fucking covering it. Wow. Even I'm disappointed with that.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's start the show.
An intro is worse than the thumbnail.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And oh, thank God it's Friday. Boy, you know, yes. I'll tell you, all last night, I thought it was Tuesday. So that kind of tells you how my week is going. Guys, I know usually I introduce you guys right away and do all this stuff, but I want to give a shout out to Serial Killer, the Gamecat with the $5 tip. Says, not sure if I'll make the live show, but to all the Gamecat birthdays, including my son, Nathan Drake. Really, for the love of God, I hope you named him that. It's on his birth certificate. Who turns 9 tomorrow. Have a possum day. Thank you, Serial Killer, so much. Yes, and also shout out to Jason Ewing, Delirium Drew, and Dash David Dash. They're all celebrating birthdays today.
Yeah, man, so many Gamecats with birthdays today. I know. Check out the next tip, Brian, from Donatello. Dreaming about PSVR2 Gamecat.
With the $5 chip. I don't know where you're going with this. Happy Friday, Gamecats, and happy birthday to Drew, David, Jason, and a little Nathan Drake. Thanks so much, Donatello. Yeah, right. Also,
everybody was born today.
Yesterday. We're all born yesterday.
What happened 9 months before today? That's all I got to wonder. Maybe some big event in the world. People were just like, we need to have a kid.
Or it was like the most boring day in
Christmas
history,
time,
right?
It was kind of like around Christmas, Thanksgiving time. You know, have a little turkey. You know, a little bit of turkey. You know what that does to people, right?
Have a turkey leg.
No,
make a little love.
No, that's not what turkey does at all. Turkey just makes me sleepy. It doesn't make me want to go have a kid. Jesus Christ. Also, on a serious note, shout out to Dash David Dash, who his dad is going through some stuff. Hopefully recovers very, very quickly. Our hearts go out to you, bud.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR with the Parole. And the guys from my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, VR.
Very understated and subtle. I liked it.
Nice.
Good one.
This ain't going to be subtle at all. And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Dave? What's up, Gamecats? Good to see everybody. Happy Friday. Man, we got a good show lined up for you guys today. So many, it's a good one when there's like tons of sources and stuff we have to include in our run of show. Lots of stuff to go through. As I said, interesting show already to look forward to Monday as well. To keep you occupied. So hopefully we can send you into the weekend with some great vibes, some positive energy, and some awesome PSVR news.
But first and foremost, we want to thank all the people who support us over on patreon.com/withoutprogames. They're giving us $1 or more every month to get their name on that little list down there. Don't worry, if you haven't seen your name and you supported us this month, it'll update for Monday's show. I promise. And don't forget to join our Discord. The link for that is in the description below. That's where all sorts of crazy stuff happens. That's where we get our Box VR sessions together. We do that, but we play Box VR every single day. So if anyone's trying to get in shape, come and join us. That's where we get some multiplayer games going. And that's, of course, where conversations like this, ridiculous conversation, happen pretty much 24/7. But AJ, all those people we just thanked aren't the only people we want to thank, are they?
I'd also like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name to something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent as you. And yes, our good friend something Gamecat adjacent would like to say. I saw him leave a comment the other week or whatever, and he was like, "I love the secret channels." Yeah, man, you are part of the show now, forever ingrained into the Gamecat history books. And this week, guys, we have 3 new Gamecats to welcome to the Gamecat Dojo.
Big numbers, big numbers. Who we got? Who we got?
Starting with V Realities, the Gamecat.
All right.
Become reality.
I know you guys.
Reality.
I know you guys can't see the image right away when it pops up on the screen, but I will tell you that this is one of the coolest little avatars ever. It's somebody's mouth, and the tongue is like some kind of salamander or lizard coming out of the tongue. It's creepy. It's disturbing. I love it.
You love it. I knew you would.
I love it. Big hearts.
We've also got tax refund. The Earth was made in 6 little days. Gamecat.
Okay, I thought we had that one before.
No.
Did he change it back? I think he keeps changing it to something biblical.
And that's why we keep giving him shout outs, because I love every single one of them.
Yeah, I'm always like
awesome.
scratching my head like, okay, all right.
Well, Dave, I think you're going to like this one, Dave.
Oh, yeah?
Finally, we have Gamecat Mob Task Force. Protect Dave at all cost.
Oh, hell yeah. Who's that? I like that guy.
Got the target in my sights. He's doing okay. We might have to sedate him to make sure he stays okay for the rest of the night, but we got this.
Yeah,
Target's covered.
Not gonna lie, a little concerning. Don't fuck with Dave.
You don't know these. Yeah, these people are coming after me, man, and this mob is not going to let them. It might be a
Hands off
mob
the
of
Dave
one
station.
guy. It's one dude with a pitchfork. One dude with a pitchfork outside my house to counter mob anybody who comes to mob me, I guess. I don't know.
Well, perfect, guys. So, of course, whenever you guys change your name, just make sure you go to any video on the channel and leave a comment that says hashtag GameCat, so that makes it really easy for Brian to tell that you change your name as the GameCat army rises and grows. Brian, we got a couple tips, and we got 2 minutes left before we got to move on to the next topic. Let's do this.
I don't like this timer thing. We got Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver Gamecat, with the $5 tip, saying, "What's up, guys? I just picked up my son, and we got the show going on our trip home." Oh God.
Nice.
I've sworn so many times. He says, "No worries, I'm only listening, LOL." Thank you so much for the donation. I'm sorry for all the F words.
Wait, but how did he tip then? He left a tip. Not only did he leave a comment, he left a donation as well.
He had his son leave the tip.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
go. Driving. Yeah, pass the phone.
Yeah.
I got to tell you about the thinking game that I always play on road trips, Kill Artist. It's the greatest game ever. It's kind of like 20 questions, but it's like infinite, and it passes the time so fast. It's amazing.
We also got Professor Lilith with the $5 tip. Says this week's multiplayer meetup at 2 p.m. Eastern is Honor and Duty D-Day with 13 votes. Fit $5 on PSN. Supports the moves, DualShock, and AIM. Thank you so much, Professor Lilith. I'll say something right now. This channel cannot run without the help of everybody, because I keep dropping the ball on things, and cats keep picking the ball up and running with it. So thank you so much, Professor Lilith, for organizing all these Sunday meetups. You may want to notice on Discord, Donnie, the scientist Gamecat, has been running the question of the day, and so... that was something I was trying to do. I got it about 3 days in, and he took over. I was like, thank you very, very much. And finally, we got Emily Baxter, hashtag the Game Kit, with the $2 tip. Says, happy birthday, Drew. Choo choo. Choo choo. She's very particular about who she says birthdays to. Just Drew.
You know.
Right. All right, guys.
They're pals.
We got to get the show running here. We got a lot
We
to talk
do,
about.
guys. We have a ton of news, including what is going on with Fract developer. You know, Fract is coming out August 20th. We're super excited for that.
Oh, come
but
on.
First,
who's buying the standard edition? Everybody's buying the deluxe edition. Everyone's going to play on the 17th. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
That's a good tactic, I feel like. I think EA came up with that. They're like, oh, if you buy it for an extra $20, you can play it a week early on whatever.
Well, let's not get too comfortable stealing tactics from EA. I'm just saying.
I know.
Okay, you know what I mean?
Saying, I think they're the ones who started it.
All right, guys. So, of course, we're going to start with anything PS5 related. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about with PS5. And first up, the official beta for the PlayStation 5 is about to begin or has begun. And it includes the summer update, the long-anticipated update for the internal SSD storage for PS5. Now, they have already announced a couple different SSDs that you can purchase for anyone interested in this. And there was a recommended list from Digital Foundry, and Eurogamer has the whole list of stuff here, and it's super useful. It tells you all about it for those who aren't familiar with it. It'll give you a ton of information, everything you need to know. But there's a whole list of them that it doesn't give you like which one they recommend the most. It just kind of tells you which ones are compatible. So there's a couple I was looking at. First of all, are you guys participating in this beta?
I'm not an external hard drive guy. I kind of just delete stuff when I need to, and then I reinstall it when I need to, which has bit me in the ass plenty of times. People will be like, "Oh, let's play Firewall," and I'm like, "Oh, I forgot I uninstalled it to make room for
give me an hour
PS5 game." Yeah, give me a minute. Actually, my internet's decent enough that Firewall probably only takes like 30 minutes to reinstall. Yeah, on a good day. That's not bad.
I didn't sign up for the beta because I didn't, and I other things on my mind. I would have liked to participate in this. I do find myself running out of storage already on PlayStation 5 faster than I ever did on my OG PS4 and PS4 Pro. You know, and I'm definitely shuffling a bunch of games right now. Like, I've got a pile of games that are stacking up for review. I've got a bunch of games that I just like to play sometimes for fun. And so suddenly now, even though I'm not playing many flat screen games, hard drive full. And plus, Returnal takes up like half of that. So,
God, yeah,
right. And I refuse to delete Returnal because I'm like that. If I delete Returnal, that's like giving up, right?
Yeah, I never
do
beat the thing.
That thing's gonna stay on my hard drive for the next decade, and I'm just gonna keep going back to it like once a week and see what happens.
As you should.
Yep.
Still, maybe it'll get that White Moon Dreams PSVR2 update in the future. Oh, but yeah, man. So this is something that I think is actually means a lot, is really important to me. The only catch here though is that you're not allowed to like talk about or share or anything about it. So if there's no way, typically in the past when I've participated in the betas, they've had like an option to kind of toggle between the two or revert it back. So I'm going to see what I can get away with. And if so, I would like to do it. Or like Pipo said, he's going to wait until they get cheaper because right now they're super expensive. And, you know, that's the thing is this SSDs are really expensive right now.
Yeah.
But they will eventually go down in price.
Yeah. The other thing too is, you know, when Sony announces a thing like this, the ones that they list specifically on that site are gonna become scarce, most likely. Like I feel like whenever they come out with something like this, where it's like, hey, this thing that's already kind of scarce and expensive, we decided this is the best one for this new update. Like people will start snapping those up, you know?
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing is, yeah, the demand for these, I imagine, is going to become higher and higher, and but we'll see what happens. Especially as the price goes down, they're gonna start, you know, like selling out really quick. So right now, it's pretty easy to get one because it's so early in the process and everything and everything. But yeah, there was a couple I was looking at. I can give you some personal experience from my Western Digital one. That I have, the 4 terabyte external. It's solid, but it's reliable. Like it's not like super special. It hiccups every now and then and stuff, but it never like has like completely crashed and lost the data. So I'm looking at the Western Digital Black SN 850, and it says there's a heat sink version available. That's the thing. Some of these, the one reason you want to reference this article is it tells you which ones need a heat sink and doesn't. And for anyone who doesn't know what a heat sink is, it's a little piece of metal with some like kind of corridors in them or something, and it kind of like the metal helps push the heat away from the components, so it just helps. And some of these do require one. The one that I'm primarily looking at is there's also the Seagate FireCuda, which was announced, which is nice. Where'd it go? Actually, the one that I was looking at is gone, so maybe that's not going to be the one that I need. I don't see it on the list anymore. So yeah, so maybe that one. But just just a reminder, just be sure that you check and make sure if it needs an additional heat sink or not. Check all the requirements. Check for the best read and write speed you can get. And then also, of course, always, it was the Samsung 980 Pro. And the reason I was going to say is because Samsung components in my history with them have been really fast and really reliable. They are really good components for the most part. So I'm going to keep my eye on that Samsung 980 Pro. And it does require an additional heat sink, but it's the best value that I see right now. It's $200 for the 1 terabyte. So, just want to throw that out there. But yeah, make sure if anyone interested, make sure you go check out and do your homework a little bit. It doesn't take too much to figure out which one is the best for you and whatnot. So, yeah. So moving on.
Moving on, we got a $2 tip from Sergeant Frosty. He sends a birthday cake to Drew, David, and Jason, teabagging opponents for you. So that's some. Yep.
Is he talking about Firewall?
I'm
Sergeant.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Frosty.
Yeah.
It's a Firewall.
Yeah.
Firewall is Frosty's childhood.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. So moving on. This is one of the headlining topics of the day, and that was the acquisition that was recently announced by Sony PlayStation Studios. And this comes from Push Square is the article I'm reading from here. And it says, Sony has confirmed its acquisition of Nixxes. It is designed to enable further ports of PlayStation titles to PC. And then they say, speaking in an interview with Famitsu, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan said, quote, "We are also happy with our efforts to provide our IPs to PCs, although it is still in its infancy, and we look forward to working with Nixxes to help with that." So for anyone unaware, there was a port recently, I think, announced or released or something of Horizon Zero Dawn several years later that came to PC. And this is new. Typically, PlayStation has always had like their exclusives. You can only get them there. They always say like you only play it on PlayStation. And so with this new leadership, we have seen a little slight change in philosophy. And so, yeah, I don't know. What is your guys' take? What is your opinion on stuff like some first-party exclusives making it to the PC market?
Dave?
I mean, I could see Fract showing up on PC at some point and stuff like that, kind of bigger name games after the period of exclusivity. Although we never saw Resident Evil 7 crossover, even though they said they were gonna. So I don't know. I mean, it sounds like they are kind of shifting gears in terms of that, though. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of give and take. We get Half-Life Alyx, they get a little bit of something on their end.
The important part of exclusives for me isn't the fact that like, hey, we get this game and we get it forever and you guys don't get to play it, right? That's never been the important part of exclusives to me. The important part of exclusives is making sure the dev team doesn't have to focus on 4 different platforms at the same time when they're developing. They say, hey, we're making a game for PlayStation 5 or PS5 VR or whatever the hell they're doing, and they get to make sure that is the absolute best experience they can possibly make it without having to worry about, oh, will this run on Quest? Will this run on PC? How will we do this? Upgrading graphics, downgrading textures, whatever they got to do. And it always just ends up being a mess anytime there's a cross-platform game, with some notable exceptions. Like Ubisoft has gotten really good at it over the years, and so is EA. But like, a lot of VR is smaller teams. And so you got to make sure those smaller teams are able to focus. And so when all you have to worry about at launch is one platform, then I am like super duper happy. We get our game, and then when the exclusivity agreement runs up, suddenly they're able to start like focusing their attention on each of those other platforms and making sure it runs great on those as well. So that's where I come down on exclusives, and so I am 100% fine with everything going to PC eventually, as long as the teams have the time they need to make it good on PS5 first.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Proud Dog here in the theory that like exclusives generally make you want to buy hardware. To me, that is the system seller kind of deal. But I can see an advantage of timed exclusives. I think you have to hold some just primarily to the brand itself. That way, it gives the brand an identity, and that's the drawback of non-exclusives is that, like you said, not only does it make it sometimes a nightmare for developing across multiple platforms, launching across multiple platforms, sometimes there can be some major limitations in the games. And when you have exclusives like Returnal, like Ratchet and Clank, and certain other ones, they are all primarily developed for that hardware and fully optimized to the best of their abilities. But so he goes on to say here, though, that speaking at the time of the acquisition announcement, PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulse, this is Herman Hulse, not Jim Ryan, was excited for the experienced team to join Sony's first-party lineup. And he says, quote, "They have a passion for improving games and for delivering the best possible experience for gamers. Nixxes will be a strong asset for everyone across PlayStation Studios, helping our teams focus on their most important goal, which is to create unique PlayStation content at the best possible quality." So this team is literally just here for one reason, it sounds like, which is whenever possible, they have a special skill set of porting these games to PC, and that's primarily what they would be used for. Nothing really else.
And that's best case scenario. You don't get that when you're a small dev team with like no relationship to Sony or bigger, first party manufacturers. The benefit of all these studios getting to work with Sony is that Sony is now providing them like, hey, you don't got to worry about that port, right? You do what you're good at, and then these guys, they're really good at this, and so they'll step in and like take your game and do all the necessary stuff, and it's like just give us your baby and we'll raise it and take care of it over here.
That's the Panic Button has been doing that. That's kind of been their gig for a while with Switch games.
Oh yeah, right.
They'll be like, oh, okay, well, id Software, maybe you guys couldn't get Doom to run on it, but we can. So give us a crack at it, and they did. So.
What is the question? What has Doom not been on? Is what I want to know. Maybe
Doom
Game Boy.
2016 Doom.
Yeah.
2016 Doom.
Yeah.
People were saying, "Oh, this could never run on Switch," and they made it work. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, this is the other part of this, though. So this is just when mentioning Nixxes, they're only talking about software and stuff. But what I want to know, and Dave, you kind of had a good point there. We maybe could see some PSVR exclusives. That happened with Moss. Moss was a PlayStation VR timed exclusive. We're seeing that trend continue with some other timed exclusives. I imagine Book 2 will be as well.
Wait. I don't want to rush past this point. Are you putting it out there that you think Moss Book 2 is going to be a PSVR exclusive at launch?
Oh, I could see it being. I don't know. I mean, yeah. So. I mean, nah. I don't know. It's a little tricky. That one.
I kind of heard you like kind of run right by that, and I was like, wait, stop. I want to see if this is a conversation.
I could see it being a timed exclusive, but that would only be because of something in their contract. That wouldn't necessarily be like, we think that this is going to be the best plan possible at this time.
I mean, I think that they probably will launch it the same day on Quest as they do on PSVR.
Yeah.
That seems like it would make sense.
I think it's with the other ones being on Quest already and PC, then I don't see any reason to really keep that an exclusive right now.
Yeah. And sometimes stuff is only a Quest exclusive just because of what Brian said. Like the teams don't have the manpower or budget to develop for both at the same time, so you got to wait a little bit afterwards, and that's the hot platform right now. But
on the flip
I feel
side,
like I think they are a team who does have the resources and does know how to get that done, where they can launch everything on the same date. I would be surprised if we saw a staggered release between the platforms.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, there was stuff like Resident Evil 4 remake or whatever that was announced on Quest. Now, if I were Quest, Oculus, I would definitely keep that as an exclusive, as another thing to be on the hardware. However, I could see potentially down the line with PSVR 2 that coming to us way later. We never thought Vader Immortal was going to come to us, and Oculus has actually been open about wanting to trade some games, some exclusives and stuff. And I think for this early in the VR market, I don't think it's the worst thing. I think you want to maximize, these games like Moss and Saints and Sinners and Gorn or whatever, Super Hot, all of these did well because they were on multiple platforms because they're working with a smaller base. Now, if PlayStation VR 2 has an install base of 30 to 40 million or something and the adoption rate is huge, then exclusives are still going to make a lot more sense at that time. And also, again, that's the number one thing that you can entice people with. But this is the question I have for you guys. Now, do you think going beyond just software, do you think there is a possibility that the PC market has grown to the point to where Sony might actually have some compatibility on PC with PSVR 2?
I don't know the answer to this question. We've talked about it in the past.
Tell us what you know, Dave. You know something.
I don't know anything. My gut feeling is no, but they could. I mean, I'm assuming they won't make it PC compatible. if they did, there's plenty of good reasons to do that. And I've said before, having just that USB-C connector does make it so it would be like universally plug-inable, at least. I don't know. I mean, to some degree, you could use the PSVR 1 as a display device for any HDMI thing in cinema mode and just take the pass-through from that. I don't know if you guys ever tried that before, but people would like playing Breath of the Wild in the cinema mode on PSVR, or playing PC stuff with Trinus hacked together. I think if anything, if it does have a USB-C connector, and even if Sony doesn't officially say that they're doing this, somebody out there is going to hack something together, and by that point, we'll have better hackers for that shit than we do now. Because I've heard Trinus is not that great, and there's some other things that just don't work that well. But like that does involve a few things, because that, you know, you got to set up external tracking cameras and have them get the moves, which is a whole fucking nightmare. I tried it one time. It's not even worth bothering. And then, you know, the interfaces are all different. You can't just plug it in. And so I feel like if you just got a cable, you plug it in, and it's a display device, people will find some way to play PC games on it. I just don't know if it'll be official or not.
I'd like it to be
I've
official.
said it a lot. I would like it for too.
I'd like it to be official because, you know, if you look at the PC market, like once upon a time, like you look, you know, pre-Steam, the PC market was dying fast, but like Steam brought it back to life, and like now it's dominating. You ask anybody, like kids don't play console games. Like, I mean, tons of kids play console games, but
yeah, they do.
But like the thing with kids is PC gaming. Like that's a huge thing, and like it's way bigger than it's ever been. And so those kids are going to grow up, and you know, they all know how to build PCs at this point. They're just going to keep building PCs for the rest of their lives. So I think that there's going to be some really stiff competition when it comes to VR next gen, and that's going to come from the PC side as well. So if you could have the PSVR 2 be compatible with your PC, you know, just be like, oh yeah, here it is. You've got it, and you just plug it in, and you're good to go, or you sync it up, or whatever has to happen, and it just happens automatically. And then you get people who are interested in PC VR, like if it's a competitive price point or whatever the deal is, like to get them to get the PSVR 2 headset instead of whatever's available on PC or Quest or whatever, and just being like, oh, look at the resolution of this thing, look at all the haptics and the, you know, the headset and whatever, and oh, there's some PSVR 2 games that have like come over to PC that actually take advantage of the orbs and, you know, the special features that PSVR 2 offers over whatever the current gen PC VR hardware is.
Right.
I think that right there, and getting people to experience it without even owning a PlayStation 5, it's kind of like the magical combination that Sony would need to sell even more PlayStation 5s. Being like, oh, these exclusives or former exclusives are amazing. Like, what's currently exclusive over there? I've already got a headset. I just need to pick up a console now so I can play all these exclusives and not have to wait 2 or 3 years for them to get over to PC. I think it's a pretty smart move.
Yeah, I fully expect the PSVR headset to be primarily used for the PS5, because you sell 2 pieces of hardware at that, and they also most likely sell them at profit. PSVR, you know, as far as we know, was sold at a profit, not at a loss. But you know, it would be interesting to see maybe some third-party software pops up that you can use the PSVR 2 with, but it will be interesting to see if this philosophy they have of sharing some of their exclusive games actually goes beyond a little bit more. And they say, you know, well, Quest 2 has increased Steam sales and stuff because a lot of people use the Quest 2 not as the wireless mobile hardware that it is, but as a PC VR headset as well. And that's been a huge successful thing for it. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see if it seems significant enough for them to tap into that. However, I'm usually like not all about exclusives. Like, I'm not one of these idiots that are like, Horizon Zero Dawn's on PC now. Like, I'm set. Like, everything's gone. My life is over. You know, like,
that was a great video.
But
guy had like a huge mental breakdown just because he's like, oh, nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, but I do think exclusives are important. I absolutely think they're 100% part of the value and stuff. And but I do think there is something to, like what you said, having a little bit of compatibility with PC at the least, like being able to just do basic functionality with Steam or something, could maybe entice people to buy more PS5s because they're like, hey, I've already got the headset.
Right.
And then now PS5 has these exclusives, and yeah, and then it gives them a reason to buy a PS5 and have the best of every VR world you can.
I agree, man. I agree.
Now, one thing that just came up in chat is the question that we haven't really covered: is would having PSVR2 compatible with PC basically eliminate exclusivity? I assume you could play everything PC has to offer, including Quest games. The last part of that, I don't think will ever happen. I don't think you'll be able to play Quest native games on a PSVR2 because that's not something you plug into. When you play on PC, you're not playing the Quest game. You're playing an Oculus or a Steam version of that game.
Right.
They're separate builds. They're separate. Some games are only on Quest and not on PC as well. So definitely, I don't think you'll be able to play Quest games on it. If they have a PC version, maybe. But
this will be interesting to see in the future. I imagine even if they break some of their exclusivity, it will likely be years after it initially comes out. It wouldn't be anything right away. Anyways, it's, hey, this thing gave it its best shot. What else can we squeeze out of the old machine? So that's it, guys.
Right. It's never all of the exclusives after a couple years. It's a couple exclusives here and there that eventually make their way after a couple years. And usually, I mean, we saw in the case of Horizon, it was like they announced the sequel and then they were like, okay, hell, you guys can have the original now. So it's a great marketing tool to be able to say, hey, here's the original. If you want the sequel, come over to the dark side. Come buy our hardware.
And come to the dark side.
Right? I mean,
all right, guys. I can't wait to go back and look at some of these chat. I see lots of cool. Thank you guys for providing your opinions in the chat as well, because I definitely plan on going back and checking out what you guys.
It's just everybody's birthday in the chat. That's the only thing I see. Everybody's wishing birthdays to everybody, whether it's their birthday or not.
Oh man, it really is.
Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, we have to move on here. So, guys, maybe you've heard of this game Fract that has a demo right now that you should go play and download.
Tell me more about it.
And it's developed by this little team you might have heard of called nDreams, the original developers of Shooty Fruity and the Assembly and Bloody Zombies.
Yes.
And I revisited Bloody Zombies. It was actually pretty cool. It was better than I remember for some reason.
Just didn't like
but I like that. I like that whenever we disagree, you always eventually agree with me a year later.
I will never agree with you on this one.
It's that timed exclusive, man. It's that timed agreement. But guys, so this comes via VentureBeat. This was all over things, and I saw so many things in this article that I was like, holy shit, red alert. This tells us so much about what nDreams is up to besides making Fract out August 20th. I swear I don't work for them. But you should buy it and play it. It's great. It's going to be great.
I'm not telling you to buy it until I've played the game, man. I played the demo, and the demo is great. You should definitely go buy the demo. That's
go buy the demo.
Right?
Go buy the demo.
Fucking wait on the game until we tell you what's up.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than a cup of coffee to buy the demo, guys. So go out there and do it.
Brian's going to cost everybody $5. Because they didn't pre-order, and they're not going to get to play it for 3 days. They're going to hear how great it is for 3 days, Brian. But anyways, guys, True. I'm just kidding. So anyways, this is, like I said, comes from VentureBeat, and the article is entitled nDreams Kickstarts a New VR Studio Led by Mobile Game Veteran. And it says, nDreams has launched a new virtual reality game studio headed by mobile gaming veteran Chris White. White is a former senior development leader at Electronic Arts, worked on The Sims Social, Glue Mobile, Project Gotham, and Space Ape Games, Transformers, Wars, and Samurai Siege.
Wars,
yeah. It says now he will run a studio for live game development at nDreams. So the new studio will be fully remote, and nDreams is actively recruiting, blah, blah, blah. And he says that, quote, we're going to be working on new VR titles, and they're going to have a live game element to them. White said in the interview with GamesBeat. He says, also, quote, hopefully we can build titles that persist for years, that players want to engage with for years, and that's what we're going to focus on. So, gentlemen, what I'm trying to say here is what their focus on this new studio, which is called nDreams Orbital, I believe, Studio Orbital. They are going to be focusing. These are VR games, by the way. With this new studio's focus is going to be games that are considered. What did he say? A live.
Like live service, like games as a service. There's a lot like this that are like basically free to play usually, or built on the concept of seasons and ongoing content. Like Fortnite is like a game as a service. Like you get it, they keep updating it, and you can pay, and people do pay, and it's actually super lucrative to have that model. I think they're trying to make money here, is what it sounds like, and they might do it.
Two things. Unintended Studios with the $5 tip says, I've been all about Population 1 this last week. Heard it's getting a PSVR release. Think it'll have aim support. Sniping would be godly. Man, I would... At one point, they were like, yeah, we're bringing it to PSVR. I would be shocked if that comes to PSVR 1 still. That sounds like a perfect PSVR2 launch title.
That studio was bought by Oculus? Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot. That was Big Box, right? Who made dodgeball guns.
Yeah.
So, in fact, it may not come at all now.
Yeah.
So, unless maybe we're swapping exclusives. Who knows? Maybe this actually has to do with our last conversation. I totally forgot. And the other thing is, why do you think that this article, or why do you think nDreams is so reluctant to say games as a service? Because they're saying live VR games as if we all just understand what that means, and then they have to kind of explain, but then not really explain. Does games as a service have a negative connotation to you guys?
It can,
sort of.
Especially when there's a guy from EA involved who did mobile games. Like you put that shit together, that's sort of a deadly cocktail potentially. Like but I trust nDreams now. I mean, I didn't when Perfect came out, of course, but they've got a decent track record these days. They're one of the more solid VR devs. I mean, Fract seems like it's going to be a slam dunk. So I don't know. I mean, usually these games are going to be shooters, online multiplayer games, some kind of competitive bunch of people online sort of deal, right? Like you can't really have a single player one of these.
That was my first initial thought. Is I would almost guarantee that this is going to be some kind of online shooter. When I first saw it say live titles, I was a little confused by that too. I thought maybe they were talking about location-based VR or something when they were saying live. So yeah, that's a term that I don't think we've heard yet. Not common anyways. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that, if they're going to be doing something like this games as a service kind of model, I think it has advantages to where it can constantly evolve over the years, which they've said they want to do. If they make a good shooter or make something, I don't know. I don't think you build a new studio to make a kart racing game and then all for that and then expand on that. You know what I mean?
Kart racing as a service game would be fucking awesome, though. I'd play that over Fortnite. Give me that shit.
Yeah, well, I think this is, like you said, Oh, what's up, Brian?
Well, I would hope. I mean, obviously they're making this amazing cover-based shooter right now, and even though their new studio is going to be completely remote, I'm sure they're going to be sharing technology back and forth. Obviously, they built this amazing game engine. Why wouldn't they share it with this brand new team? Rather than have them start from scratch. So, as great as it would be to be like, hey, we took the Frack engine, right, and this amazing cover-based mechanic that works so perfectly, and we allowed this other team to basically make a persistent, online first-person shooter with it. I'm hoping it's not that simple. I'm hoping we always talk about, like Swordsman does this one thing really, really well, and then this game over here does this other thing really, really well. I'm hoping that this is the beginning of merging these kind of things together, and they kind of take what they can from nDreams projects, but then sort of create this MMO world where it really would be persistent. And yes, there's shooting, and when you shoot, the cover-based mechanic stuff is awesome, but it's not like a whole first-person competitive cover-based shooter. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we kind of already have a counterexample to that concept, which is Mortal Blitz Combat Arena, which was a free-to-play game, came out, tried to be a game as a service, but they came from a, narrative-based, this is a, not narrative, but, single-player first-person shooter that was time crisis-oriented. to this completely different mechanic. Nothing is similar between the two games at all, other than the name. But it's the same company. They just pivoted because they thought, oh, this might make us some more money than if we just released another Time Crisis kind of game. Because that is, if you're thinking business-wise, I'm sure it didn't work out that well for them. I don't know if anybody bought any extra content in Mortal Blitz or has ever played it in the past month. But it's that didn't work out. So hopefully they don't pivot that hardcore where it's just like, oh, we got a totally brand new different thing that we're going to try to make happen, and it just like flops and dies. But we shall see.
Well, so this isn't, we can go on for days about what they might be making or whatever, but we won't actually know until we see it. But this is the other part of this article that is very, very interesting. They say later on in the interview, they say at Farnborough, we are already working on multiple titles. This comes from Thomas Gio, the chief development officer at nDreams. And so he's talking about, so they talk about this new studio. We know now what its intentions are, what they're going to be doing with that. But the primary studio, I believe, is the Farnborough one, I'd imagine. Looks like that it is already focusing on multiple titles. So on top of Fract guys, nDreams is firing on all cylinders. They could be developing something else.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to keep rotating platforms, though, because we got Covert or Phantom Covert Ops Quest, and then this is a PSVR exclusive, right? So maybe they're just like swapping teams every other game or something.
Well, what I do think is that I don't think Fract is the only PSVR game they're working on. Dun, dun, dun. I think, I think they're either working on it. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
nDreams has ramped up so fast over the last few years. They've got, not only has their team gone from like just a handful of people to 100 people in the last couple of years, but also now they're opening this entirely new studio. In my book, like if Sony's serious about VR and like being the pioneers and leading the charge in the future for PSVR2 and letting the world know that they're serious about it, nDreams would be the perfect team to acquire. I think this would be a perfect marriage. These guys have shown what they can do with the PlayStation 4 hardware and PlayStation 5 hardware, even with the current gen headset. And this would be amazing to have like a really, really talented, dedicated studio in their arsenal.
Yeah, it's been interesting over the years to see which VR developers are like the upcoming the big studs, and nDreams is one of them.
And if you told me like a couple of years back that I would think more of nDreams than I do of Survios right now, I would be like, no fucking way, dude. Right. But that's how it worked out. I mean, that's and also, when Archangel came out, if you had told me that same studio was going to make the best PSVR game, like I liked Archangel, but teams develop and get better at what they're doing, and it's like you said, it's great to see it.
A lot of you don't really know until you see a lot of the results. A lot of the teams that I thought were going to be like the kings of VR and stuff are definitely kind of more falling in the wayside. Now I do think there could be definitely a resurgence of some of those teams as well, but nDreams has clearly been putting in a lot of work and a lot of focus on VR, and it's really great to see not only their success, but the visions that they have are like give it to me. Like those are the games that I want to play. The things that they've been frustrated about VR in the beginning, now they're starting to get to create the games they want, and no limitations, just balls to the wall action, and just different stuff. More games that feel like traditional video games, but just really well adapted for VR. And that I think is something we've been kind of missing from the beginning of VR in general. And I hope just to see this continue evolving and continuing to become more of a norm.
The deal for me, I think a lot of people would look at this news and go, I wonder what the new studio is making. But for me, the best news about this news is that nDreams gets to keep doing what it does really well. Right? They nDreams hopefully don't feel as though they have to everyone's doing multiplayer games, we have to go do multiplayer games. These guys are doing fucking kick-ass amazing single player campaigns, and people are loving them. And so I hope that they're able to keep doing what they do so well while this other team kind of covers maybe what's a little bit more mainstream or what's more popular. So that's what's exciting to me. All right, guys, probably time to move on, though, don't you think?
Yes, and this came via news yesterday. That I saw this on Twitter actually first, and it is that Tarzan VR got an update, and they posted on their social media page. Tarzan VR just got improved on PlayStation VR. The improvements feature various bug fixes and gameplay improvements. We've also remapped the controller input scheme with feedback from the community. And I actually retweeted this, and I said, I always respect devs that listen to feedback from the community. Props to the team. And then they actually responded and said, thanks, AJ. Also for the feedback, of course. I didn't actually give them any feedback.
They watched your video is what that's the feedback.
That would have to be the feedback because...
I mean, if you see a guy shouting about the break the lock thing enough times, you take that as feedback. You're like, okay, maybe I'll jot that one down.
Smash the lock, Tarzan. Tarzan, smash lock. Ugh. Brian, you've gotten to play this. Can you tell us something about this?
I didn't play it super long. I just jumped in to see, like, I wanted to make sure they weren't full of shit, being like, hey, we updated this game and we've listened to everything you said and blah blah blah. I jumped in and you start off on Tarzan's little home island, and immediately I was like, oh look, you use the move button to move around, and the turn buttons are they're on the correct hands, so they totally remapped the control scheme to be something that we're all very familiar with. There was no reason for them to get innovative with this shit, right? I'm all about innovation when it's called for. Tarzan is a very straightforward game when it comes to motion and everything else, and they kind of screwed it up from the get-go, and now running around feels pretty natural. The jump button's in a weird place. It's below the move button, which is like weird, but what are you going to do? It's way better than it was. Moving around feels totally natural now.
Nice.
I also went to the second chapter because the second chapter was where I was experiencing a lot of those problems with the vines. You reach out and you grab a vine, you reach out, you grab a vine, reach out and grab a vine, you reach out to grab the next one and nothing happens, and you're like, there's nowhere I can go. Like if it's not registering, if the prompt isn't popping up, it's because of the game, not because of me. And it seemed like that was fixed. I didn't have any problem getting from vine to vine. Everything seemed a lot more natural. And so when you start getting rid of things like that, it's sometimes when the small things build up so much, it's hard to enjoy whatever's like lying underneath, right?
Actually there, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
it sounds like there's some other big stuff too, like the underwater speed that you guys talked a lot about. Did they adjust that? They said they had in the patch notes. Did you notice any difference there?
So I know Belramio got a chance to play it a little bit more extensively than I did, and and I think he said that was taken care of. You're not frequently underwater in this game, so it was very strange when you were, and it just didn't react the way you'd expect it to. So I think underwater has more problems than the movement speed.
Oh yeah, they didn't fix the visuals for underwater.
Right, there's nothing underwater. It's like you go from like being like, oh look at this jungle, to being there's one polygon in this environment underwater. It's terrible. So I do think they have like a long road ahead of them to being like a game that we even recommend on sale. But I'm really happy that they didn't leave it the way that it was, and it's getting with every patch I hope it gets better and better to the point where it can be like just a kind of below average, little
schlocky B game, go play Tarzan, have some fun.
$7 or $8 on sale. Pick it up.
Yeah. That's the thing is I really didn't like this game one bit. But I'll have to give it, I'll have to maybe jump back in if they add a little bit more polish to it. But again, tons of respect for any developer that listens to the feedback of the community. For me in particular, the thing that I see now is that it when you walk up to that wall, it says beat chest. Yeah. So it actually like gives you tells you what to do, because I'm not usually crazy about games having to tell you every single step of the way, but that was one where I was like, yeah, it needed to say it pretty bad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was so easy to miss. So anyways, that's speaking of developers that listen to the community. The other update we got came out, I believe it was 3 days ago, so I don't even know, but I didn't know again until I saw on social media. Use your social media, guys. And that is Swordsman VR has added a new update. that I didn't even know was coming out. I just saw the video they did, and I was like, holy shit, this looks really cool. And it basically gives you, they call it the Doomfist. And it gives you the ability to have like superhuman punching abilities. But there's more about it that makes it pretty amazing. Have you guys checked this out at all?
No, I mean, that enough sounds fun to me. I mean, like, the ragdoll effects are so satisfying in this game that having a big power punch to just send people, like, flying into the air and watch them flip around and land and stuff, that sounds pretty entertaining in itself. I assume this is going to be something you got to unlock, like it's a special ability or something like that.
Modifier. Nope.
Oh, it's just a modifier.
It's just a modifier that lets you... Yeah, Swordsman has taken this interesting turn of becoming this kind of, like, almost sandbox arena combat kind of deal, similar to like Gorn. You know, like Gorn had like the custom mode, but let me tell you what also makes this this update incredible. Not just the super punching thing, they added a manual chronokinesis as well, which is the thing that slows down time. So you can press the right move button if you're right-handed, and it just automatically activates it. And now Swordsman almost has like a super hot element to it where everything's in slow motion and like I don't know how to describe it, but like the combination of the slow motion and the the super powered punching and stuff is glorious, is all I can say about it. It was absolutely incredible and just so much fun, man.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like initially he was trying to make like a kind of realistic physics sandbox as much as he could. And, you know, this is kind of a serious physics game. And it was silly on accident a lot. And now he's leaning into the silliness of it and being like, you know what, I'm going to add some stuff to make it even sillier. And that's always cool to see.
Yeah. The big takeaway here for me, and Brian thinks I'm crazy for thinking this, and that's okay, because
God.
I am.
Well, listen, we could have a 30-minute
things.
We could have a 30-minute conversation about what AJ's going to say next. So, like, if you got nowhere to be tonight, feel free to say it. If you want to stick around for a little bit, by all means.
Oh, God.
Maybe we'll save this conversation for another day. But I am just, long story short, I am super impressed with Sin Studios' ability to provide these updates, to not only add these updates to the game, but to pick and choose the right amounts of feedback that really do enhance the experience and the quality of the game and the variety of it. And yeah, you know, I just think it's a little reminiscent of a little old studio that is also really good at providing updates. And I kind of feel like Swordsman VR and Sin Studio are kind of like the VR versions of that. So, yeah, super exciting, guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to try this out. There's been, you know, for a team of people who cover nothing but PSVR games and new games and updates, for this to get all past me, just kind of shows you how many updates Swordsman has had. Where it's like to the point where I'm like, whoa, there's a big update and I totally missed it.
Can't even keep track. It's hard to keep track. Like, he just added grabbing, I feel like the other day, didn't he? Like, didn't that just happen?
I think it was last month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have the video of the Doom Punch going the entire time because I was downloading your Let's Play, AJ. So this we'll have to leave this running so people can see everything you were talking about during the last segment of the show, which is PSVR 20 questions. When we put oh wait, but we need a timer. Oh well, too bad.
Oh, didn't you get a fancy clock? I thought you got a fancy clock.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you want me to? You want me to say something else about Sin Studio while you get that set up, or
no? I mean, like your video is playing, but it's time to it's definitely time to do PSVR 20 questions. So basically, if you want to see the rest of this video that's playing in the corner, make sure you go over to AJ's channel at PSVR Underground on YouTube, and you can watch the entire 20-minute video there and watch him do all sorts of crazy punching and lots of times slowing mechanics.
Dude, I was juggling like you ever play that game? Well, I don't know if it's a game, but with the thing wherever you have a balloon and you like try to keep hitting the balloon in the air.
Oh yeah, and you pass it to your friend and they pass it back.
The slow motion.
I was bored too. I know that game.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot like that, like bouncing them all up in the air over and over. It was great.
Nice. I'll know
real quick, Brian, before we get to the final thing here, I don't think we did a news update for people who are looking for Neon Hat, because I saw some people in chat asking where it is, and my friend's been waiting to play it and stuff. So that game in the U.S. got delayed to August 4th due to some behind-the-scenes nonsense. I don't know what happened, but
there's always some behind-the-scenes nonsense, isn't there? Always.
So it's out in Europe and Australia, I think, right now, and those regions you can pick it up, but not yet Among Us.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you all about it right now, guys. You ready?
No.
You can stay tuned for Monday's show.
Oh God,
Monday's show, without even having done Monday's shows yet. Monday's show, I can tell you, Monday's show is infinitely superior to whatever we just did today.
Yes.
Based on the
Monday's
topics I'm
show's
aware
gonna
of.
rock. This is all just one big advert for Monday, basically.
It's very strange what we do around here. All right, you guys, if you're unfamiliar with PSVR 20 questions, one of us takes the role of the host. That's me today. We got sirens on my end, so apologize for that. And I've got a PlayStation VR game in mind, and now these two guys and you guys in the chat have 20 yes or no questions to figure out which game it is. We've also got a 6-minute timer. Wow, I think they found me. And so basically, I win if these guys run out of time or can't get it in 20 questions. But let's do this. Let me put some timer up on the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. Ready when you guys are.
Can you tell me every 5? Can you tell me like every 5 that we pass?
I always tell you all the keep you up to date with the questions. Now it's Ryan, the game feeling with the $5 tips. There's so many games that come out already this summer. Which one is y'all's favorite so far besides Sniper Elite? Okay, this is a good tip. So
besides Sniper Elite,
we'll hold off on the game for just a second.
What else has come out this summer so far?
I'm allowed to say Fracked, aren't I?
Yeah, Frack demo.
What else?
I mean, of the summer, we've only gotten Sniper Elite, and I feel like there was one other thing.
I mean, can I say boxed in because of Gamecat Island? Is that sounds like pandering, but whatever.
I mean,
and he actually another news update. Apparently, Richard over Boxed In added a colorblind mode. I need to go check it out, and he wants some feedback because I am colorblind. But if you are colorblind and you were like, "Oh, I can't play this game because it's got colors in it,"
right?
He's got you covered. He's got you colored.
Yeah, man.
Oh, got you colored. Okay. All right. Let me bring up that timer. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
As ever.
As ever. All right. On your mark, set, go.
Is this game? Oh, go ahead. Oh, is this game fantasy themed?
Let's go with fantastical.
Fantastical. Okay, I'll take it.
Did this developer make any other VR games?
No.
Okay. Is it move controller only?
I had to look this up, and so that might be a hint. But according to the PlayStation Store, nope.
It supports other. Okay, it does support other control styles.
Is it a
Probably
game
just DualShock
with full locomotion?
It is not a game with full locomotion.
Okay.
That's 4.
We gotta be quick, Dave.
I know. And if I'm taking too long and you got another one, just skip me. We don't have to go back and forth every time. Is this game ever been on our top 25?
No, that's 5.
Okay.
Does it have? Let's see. It's probably Is it? What did I ask? Is it first person? Do you play the thing you're controlling it from first person?
You're playing in first person, yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Does it have combat?
I would say no. Does not have combat.
No, does not have combat.
So it's fantastical. Primarily moves, but actually supports something else. Does it? Let's see. Shit. Is it a? Did we say shooting? You said combat. Yeah.
I said, is there combat? Yeah, he said no.
It's fantastical. Did it come within the first 2 years of PlayStation VR's life cycle?
It did not. That's 8.
Okay, so it's a little bit newer-ish.
Would you call it a puzzle game?
Yeah, 9. I would say there's definitely puzzles in there.
Got it.
There's puzzles in there, so it's some kind of fantastical adventure.
I'm wondering, AJ, Demo just popped into my head. Does this satisfy? It's fantastical. There are puzzles in it. It might have both support.
I was thinking Mage's Tale.
Well, but there's combat in Mage's Tale.
Oh, right.
There's no combat in Demo.
So is it a rhythm game element? Does it have a rhythm game element in it at all?
It does not have a rhythm game element in it.
Okay,
at
damn.
all. That's 10.
Yeah. I thought I had
What's the timer at, too? What's
3 minutes and 5 seconds.
Okay.
Right, so we're halfway down.
You're halfway there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking transpose as well, Justin Cassidy, but is it narrative driven? Is it story driven?
I mean,
could be Ghost Giant.
It can't be Ghost Giant if he says no to this question.
Yeah, if he's like hesitating, I'm already like no.
I don't think it's. Yeah,
I would say if there's storytelling, you would probably call it environmental storytelling. That's 11.
Okay.
Oh, fantastical. Let's see, fantastical.
Is it a pretty game? Pretty looking game?
It depends who you ask. I think that's a. I'm not going to answer that.
Does it look pretty on a Pro or PS5?
No. Let's not go.
Okay.
So
we still don't know. Okay, well, we kind of know puzzlish, but
we know it's a sort of a puzzle game. Fantastical. You can't move.
You can't. There's no combat. There's no full
locomotion, but there's also combat.
Is there teleport and is there some sort of teleport?
You can teleport.
You can teleport.
Okay.
What did I say? Ooh, Bound. Well, Bound is first person. Paper Beast, teleport only.
Ooh. Shit. Does it take place in a mansion?
Does not take place in a mansion. That's 13.
Okay.
Does it have? See, that's 13.
Yep, you got a minute and 20 seconds left.
Does it have monsters in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does have monsters in it. It does have puzzles in it. There's no combat. Oh, is it? No.
Is it? Does it?
1 minute.
Fantastical.
Is there things made of paper in it?
There are things made of paper in it.
Oh, hey, are there beasts made of paper?
There are beasts made of paper. That's
nice.
Oh, we got it the last second. Let's go. AJ, drop it on him.
Right.
We don't need all 20.
2, 1. Paper Beast.
It is Paper Beast. Congratulations.
Nice.
Good job.
Oh yeah, who was that helped me? Hold on.
I saw a bunch of people say it earlier. I was like, "Woof, man!" And like it took you guys a little bit to catch on to what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teleportation had me thinking maybe Paper Beast. Nice. You guys rock, man.
Yeah. I was like, didn't remember it having DualShock 4 support, and I had to like go look it up and see. All right, you guys.
That actually gave it away for it a little bit too.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching PSVR Gamescast live with us. I want to make sure we give a shout out to Miles Dyer, who runs the Instagram account, SciFiGamecatHenry, who has timestamps of the show after it happens. There goes the bomb. We want to make sure we give a shout out to all the mods, making sure that everything runs smoothly, not just here, but over on Discord as well. Make sure you join our Discord as well. That's where we hang out, and that's where a lot of shit goes down. Really cool stuff. Links in the description below. Also, God, who am I forgetting here? J Meow, helping us get everything up on Spotify and in all a bunch of streaming services. Make sure you subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Thank you to everybody who hung out and participated in the chat. Thank you to everybody who tipped, and thank you to everybody, of course, who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there because we see the numbers, and we love you so very much. What do you think, guys? Should we cue the cat?
Oh yeah, but before you cue the cat, they love your explosion. They love the clock explosion. The chat is a big fan of this.
I'm a fan of that explosion too.
Yeah. Make sure you go to oh shit! I want to
shout that guy out.
Yeah,
clocks and stuff.
Somebody super duper nice to us and let us use their clock. Oh come on, where is it? Oh man, everything was going smooth until now.
UltimateClocks.com.
Let's just stay here for another 10 minutes.
Don't worry, guys. The link I'm going to add the link in the description. That was the agreement. Make sure that there'll be a link to the channel with all the cool clocks in it. But shout out to whatever the name of the clock channel is. All right, you guys. That's it. Let's cue the cat.
Are you actually cueing the cat this time?
Oh my God, AJ! Don't
Good, cue the cat because Kramer 3K, Kramer 3K, the non-VR game cat. I want to say have a wonderful weekend to you guys. Thank you so much. Nick Nulo, the game cat. Ref is the cat that sleeps all day. Trusty Mods in the house. Hopefully you guys are on your best behavior.
Twitcher, Timertopia. Timertopia. That's the name of the channel.
Do not interrupt when the cat is cued.
Timertopia.
You can suck
Timertopia.
Justin Cassidy, thank you so much, man. Brax Bro, Donatello Dream about PSVR2, GameCat, Decepticon, GG, Flame Hat, GameCat says, meow. VR Demon, thank you so much, man, for joining in the GameCat in the chat. Good to see you, homie. Ash VR, the groovy GameCat. Make sure you guys all put a hashtag GameCat so we can get you next Friday. Twitch with single player GameCat. Deathly, the subterranean Death Cat. I love that. Elite name squad adjacent name. Serial killer, the GameCat. Emily Baxter, the hashtag Game Kitten. Bartlesoft, good to see you as well. JT Money in the house. Ben Dawson, good night to you as well. Have a wonderful weekend. Meow Meow, the Game Cat. Meow, bye. Zack Attack, Nihilus Ryan, the Game Feline. LC2552 Beast, holding it down in the countryside. What up, homie? Mark Pringles Leaf, good to see you. ET.2K9.now. Creeper Betty, PSVR Betty. Genetic Blasphemy. Sergeant Frosty, the show I know is your childhood. Stevie Dan, Solo, the Glaswegian, Game Cat Purr. Love it, man. Awesome. So many Game Cats to look forward to next week. Cannot wait. Anakin, good to see you. Baggio10, thank you so much. Who else we got here? Space Dennison was the one that called it because he's the only one that liked Paper Beast. Blue Jude, the Underground Game
Throwing
Cat.
shade the last seconds of the show. Holy crap.
Hey,
cut him off.
Space
Cut him
Dennison,
off, Brian. Cut him off.
Space Dennison is my Farpoint bro for life. That dude is an angel. You be easy on him. Mick Coles, what up, man? You guys have a wonderful weekend. MRI Gamer.
Is that it? Say goodbye. Yo, I can't wait for next week's show, man. Next week's show, not only do we have a lot more cats to shout out, but apparently the news stories are way better than this week. So we're very much looking forward to it.
We should start saying what one of them is and then cut off midway so it's a cliffhanger.
I think so. Okay, let's get out of here.